You know, buying your first watch can be very intimidating. Am I buying the right watch? Am I making a mistake? What should I be doing in order to ensure I have a great experience and I can get into the game of not just watch trading, watch collecting perhaps, or just watch ownership? Today, I'm going to break down for you step by step how to actually buy your very first luxury timepiece. Let's get into it. All right guys, welcome to Watch Trading Academy, and as promised, today I'm going to give you a step-by-step watch buying guide. Now, if you've been watching the channel, you probably are a person who enjoys watches and might be on the sidelines about to purchase your first watch. And so you probably have concerns like most people do about how do I get away from fakes, how do I ensure I'm buying the right price, and all of the following things. And so today on Watch Trading Academy, I have decided to break down for you the 3 key things you need to have a step-by-step watch buying guide, because you may not necessarily want to trade watches to make money, and you may not necessarily want to continuously trade as a means of creating an income. So it isn't relevant to you to join Watch Trading Academy yet. Now, if you are, however, interested in making money trading watches and learning how to buy and trade watches as a collector or as a trader, ultimately making money through the process, you can click the link in the description and actually learn how to do that either free or join our entire Watch Trading Academy program, where we have trained now over 22,000 people to do just that, with many of them making insane full-time money just with part-time trades. So a lot more on that, of course, through the links below. But let's today talk a little bit about these 3 concepts that are key to every single watch buyer, regardless that you're trading for money or not. So the first stage is research. A lot of people ask me, what should I be doing before I buy my very first watch? And the first answer I always have is try it on. This is something that a lot of people kind of neglect, right? Just like driving a car, you have to go try it on. You have to know the sizing. You have to know how it feels on your wrist. A lot of times I have guys that are like fantasizing about APs and big gold breaks on their wrist, etc. They put them on after they buy the watch, after fighting for a year to get the right price, put their money aside, and they wire me like 80 grand. They put the brick on their wrist and they go, this is so uncomfortable. Oh my God, my bone here is not comfortable. Oh, every time I walk in the car, I bang it around. It's just terrible. And I'm like, well, you wanted this. Oh, but I had never tried it. Like, can I get something else? So the argument is, if you don't try on a watch, you have no idea how it feels for your wrist size, and more importantly, for the comfort and what it is you're looking for. You see, like, one of the biggest mistakes I made in my personal buying streak as I went on is the first time I ever bought an AP ceramic, I didn't realize how light these things were, and I hate light watches. I like heavy watches that remind me something's on my wrist, and it gives me more presence to not bang it around. And so, you know, trying something on, even at my level, you have to kind of get familiar with what it is that you really want to purchase, especially if you want to personally own it and not just resell it. The second thing is researching the dates. This is important, like dates and generations for what you want. Like if you're buying something along the lines of Hublot, dates may not matter, meaning it may not matter if the watch is a 2012, a 2022, or a 2016, it's gonna be the same watch. However, if you're looking at a Rolex, if you're looking at a Patek, they may have made changes in the movement, they may have made changes in the dial, they may have made alternative adjustments to what you're getting, or the card that comes with it might be different, the manuals look different, the box looks different. So all of these things come down to the research you'll do about the years and more likely the generations of the particular watch you want, so you can narrow down what range of dates you want. You may want like a budget Daytona John Mayer, at which point you'll be looking for a 2018, 2017, 2019, and then you'll know that in 2020 a new card style came out, and so on and so forth. But pricing adjusts as you go. So understanding the generation, what matters to you, what you're looking for, is going to matter very, very much. And then finally, as it pertains to research, in my opinion, other things you should do is research in 2 rounds as to what does the watch come with. This is something that a lot of people don't pay attention with, right? Meaning, like, does the watch come with a specialty box or not? Now, Rolex watches may all come with a similar green box, some larger than others, but the majority of them come looking the same. However, many other manufacturers like Hublot, Ulysse Nardin, etc., have very specific boxes for very specific limited editions. If you were to buy a limited edition Hublot watch, it probably would come with a very specific box that matches that watch. And so a lot of used watches on the internet are sold with aftermarket cards or blank cards that are just generic cards, even if they're real, as well as generic boxes. for that reason, what you run into is that you're buying a set that you believe is complete, but you're really not getting the original set you were intended to get. Especially if it's like a special edition like Usain Bolt or Kobe Bryant watch, it may come with a specific Kobe Bryant commemorative thing, or a Pele, the soccer player, will come with a soccer-based box or whatever it is. Kind of understanding what comes with that originally from the manufacturers will help you, especially as it pertains to pricing later, and I think that's very important. And then the last thing you want to research is the fakes. And this is something that a lot of people that are obviously good at the market or at bought watches don't worry about as much because they're good at this. But if you're new, this is probably a big piece of what's on your mind. You're probably thinking to yourself, how do I avoid a fake here and how do I make sure? One of the key things that I've found to be a very effective way to actually know what is the likeliness that you'll get a fake or not is to actually go and Google the watch you want to buy with the word fake or replica behind it. And the reason you want to do that is because you will see basically what the stores out there that are black market stores on the internet, as well as forums where people are peddling this shit, you'll learn for yourself what these look like as replicas versus real. You'll clearly see the differentiating factors, and this will help you just understand how popular of a replica is it. Like if you typed in right now Daytona replica, you would get a ton of listings and a ton of sites from Asia, etc., selling these fake replicas. You would also get forums talking about how good replicas are, telling you that there's a huge market for Daytona replicas. However, if you went in and typed in maybe something along the lines of like a Hublot or Ulysse Nardin, whatever that specific model is, you would notice that the amount of time and attention that these shops put to these replicas are significantly less than they put to these Rolex major watch replicas that people want. So for that reason, you'll notice clearly, is this watch likely and easily replicatable or not, and what kind of crap is being peddled out there on the internet. This is the core of what you need to kind of look into for the step-by-step guide as it pertains to specifically research. So the next phase is pricing. This is something that, again, a lot of people are interested in. How do I ensure I'm getting the right price? This is important to me. So pricing matters a lot, right? And pricing is something that's so important because you don't want to buy the watch the wrong way. And so one of the things as it pertains to pricing is to ensure, how do I know what the price is today in 3 conventional ways? The trade-in price, meaning if I gave it to a jeweler today, what would I get? Then the wholesale price, what is a good price in basically where wholesalers and individuals are selling it at? And then the market price. Now, if you're buying a lot of Rolex watches, AP and Patek, you're probably paying more than market on some rare watches. On the other hand, however, if you're buying a lot of watches that are like Hublot, Ulysse Nardin, and watches that like Omega, etc., you're probably paying below market. One of the key things you have to pay attention to is, how do I find out what the trade-in value of a watch is? Well, simply put, you can go on websites where people will buy your watch, like Bob's Watches, Govberg, put in the watch number and get an immediate estimate on what people will pay to take that watch. And that gives you an idea of what the lowest price your watch is worth in today, even if you were going to sell it. That gives you a good grasp of if you're going to spend $10,000 on a watch, but the best trade-in value was $3,000, giving you a good grasp that you're probably going to position yourself poorly and lose $7,000. Wholesale dollars can be found in Facebook groups and on forums. And while you may be new and may be uncomfortable buying from random people on the internet all over Facebook and on forums, it still doesn't change the fact that you can investigate wholesale groups like watch groups such as like Moda or other groups out there on the internet where watches are being sold by wholesalers. We also have a group here at Watch Trading Academy called the Buy Sell Trade Group, where our traders are selling or trading watches to each other at what is close to wholesale prices, giving people a good opportunity to then understand what wholesale pricing is. So, and then finally, market pricing, which is just by doing a Google search, may seem like you're getting a good grasp of what people are paying on the market, but be careful. A lot of market-based pricing is inaccurate because listings are either expired, non-existent, or older and just have been left there for quite some time. So market pricing really comes down to you calling the specific listings and actually trying to negotiate them and see what the lowest you can get is. Once you have this gap right here of, for example, a trade-in being 3K, 5K for wholesale, and then let's say 6K for market, this would be a very good type of watch with very minimum market to wholesale, very fair balanced portfolio, 50 cents on the dollar to what market is. That's a very good balanced type of pricing model. However, with some watches, you'll notice you'll get 5K here, for example, then wholesale will be like 12K, and then suddenly you'll see it's like 20K. Well, now you're getting much larger gaps. Buying a watch at 20K means you're losing 15K. This puts you in a bad position. Understanding these trends and how you kind of manage it and maneuver it will help you decide basically what pricing model watch you want, and ultimately what should the pricing be. And the final one, which is also one that matters a lot in context of everything else you've seen, and I'm gonna make it bigger for you, is reputation. So the reputation of the seller, the place you're buying from, is gonna hold a lot more weight than just the price you're paying. I try to warn people of this when on the internet, when buying from non-reputable individuals or people with bad reputations altogether. A lot of people buy on price, and when they buy on price, they get what they pay for. They get no support, they get a person that may not ship on time, they may get a scam artist. The argument is that reputation matters so much in the world of watches because in this game, even though you may not play in it today, your word is your bond. And so people are doing transactions for millions of dollars just on their word. And it's something very peculiar for people on the outside who are used to contracts or things happening when making large transactions. Even when you buy an expensive car, you often have a buyer's order, a title, and are transacting in good faith, but knowing some information exists. On the other hand, however, when you have this whole idea of like, hey, I'm transacting on a watch now, the same price as a car, you sometimes get in a position where, yeah, I have to wire and I have nothing to show for it. Reputation matters a lot. Knowing that other people have purchased from this individual, double checking that the person you're actually talking to on the other side of the phone or the store is actually the correct person is going to matter. A lot of times if a DM is sent, you're assuming the other person on the other side is the real person, but it isn't always the case. Sometimes these scam artists create fake stores and fake IGs of these same companies and then DM you thinking you're doing business with a store when really you're doing business with a scam artist. Double check the reputation of the person you're talking to. If you're talking to them on Instagram, pick up the phone and call them. If you're talking to them on the phone, change it to FaceTime and see them with the watch. Knowing not just that the person has an excellent reputation, but that you can prove that they're holding the watch, they're willing to do transaction transparently, and making it easy is going to be the one indicator you have that the transaction is probably going to go very smoothly. The more red flags you run into in this particular area, the less you're going to want to do business there. Again, all of this and much more can be found in detail in the Watch Trading Academy course in the link below. You can learn everything you need to from A to Z on not only how to purchase watches, how to go through this entire process literally step by step, but also be able to leverage it to continuously make money at this trade. Now, if you want to join us, again, the link is in the bio. If you just want to learn more about buying your first watch, the first training is also free and available to you as well. Hope you've enjoyed this content. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll catch you next time for Watch Trading Academy. As one of the most profitable watch traders in America, I get asked this question a lot. Where do you go to sell your watches? Because buying them seems to be easy, but selling them seems to be the hard part. Well, simply put, I use this tool called Grailsy. See, Grailsy.com is an auction platform where you can list watches that are high-end watches, of course, and get auction bids by real retail buyers, not just industry wholesalers or traders like in Facebook groups. This is a huge opportunity for you as a watch trader or as a watch enthusiast to sell and buy watches via this auction platform. It's safe, it's easy to use, and more importantly, they guarantee the authenticity of each and every watch, giving your buyers or sellers the peace of mind when they're doing their transactions. So make sure you check out Grailsy.com to use this incredible auction platform. And again, don't forget, I never endorse something I don't use or believe in. This has been my motto for the last 10 years, and I can't recommend Grailsy enough.
Grailsy. Buy and sell iconic timepieces.